Hey guys, what's up? Tim here. Today we are going to do a fun video. It's the first part of a 3-part series where I pin killers of similar power level against each other and gauge who I would think will win. This will be done tournament style, where I will have categories and I pin 2 killers against each other and pick who will win. In round 1 we have 4 categories. Category 1, Out of This World, Aliens, and Earth Oddities. Category 2, Normal People. These are killers with no powers deemed super or supernatural. Category 3, Superpowered People. This is a category for killers with powers. And lastly, Category 4, Ghosts and Demons. This is the paranormal killers category. A round will be 1 video, so there should be 3 videos to determine who is the best killer in Dead by Daylight. Things are subject to change with each round, so without further ado, let's start the video. Starting off with the Trapper and the Hillbilly. Trapper has a pain tolerance clearly due to the hooks the entity has impaled him with for his disobedience. Trapper is equipped with his machete and bear traps. Now on to the Hillbilly. Hillbilly also has high pain tolerance due to the fact he's been tortured and beaten and bit by dogs. Even though he's been through all this pain, he can still run at high speeds with nothing more than a limp. The Hillbilly is equipped with a chainsaw and a hammer and can move at insanely high speeds. Now to the verdict. There is an argument that Trapper could trap Billy in a bear trap and hack him up, but I believe Billy would still win this due to his higher pain tolerance and his weapon of choice, the chainsaw. The winner is the Hillbilly. Next up, Plague versus Wraith. Starting with the Plague. The Plague has 2 types of vomit, vile and corrupt, one to damage, the other to infect. Now to the Wraith. Wraith can cloak and uncloak by ringing his bell. The Plague is equipped with an incense sensor, and the Wraith is equipped with the spine and skull of his former employer. Both have higher pain tolerances, with the Plague having been infected with the Plague and lopping off her toe for a failed offering. And Wraith having survived a fire, I believe Wraith would lose this fight. Wraith may be invisible at will, but Plague's vile vomit would render the cloak unusable due to the fact the vomit sticks to clothing, so Wraith's element of surprise would be useless, and Plague also has a powerful second vomit that damages you, so in my opinion, the winner is the Plague. Fight 3 is Spirit versus the Onryo. Starting with the Spirit. The Spirit has an ability to leave a husk and travel at incredibly high speeds, but she leaves a phase alert. She's equipped with a shattered katana. Now the Onryo. Onryo is able to teleport and demanifest, making her completely silent. She's equipped with her Ring of Fury. The fight has a lot of variables, but due to the teleportation that the Onryo has, I believe she would be victorious. She could teleport, demanifest, and sneak up on the Spirit and attack. She has no noise cue to alert that she is demanifested, therefore, she seems the better choice between the two. The Onryo wins. Fight 4 is Dredge versus Pinhead. Starting with the Dredge. The Dredge is a being made up of only bad thoughts and the limbs of his victims. Equipped with the ability to teleport and is equipped with a gnarled limb to attack, the Dredge is a foe to tangle with. Now on to the Cenobite. Pinhead is an alien creature who is fixated on the notion of pleasure and pain. Equipped with a chain and a lament configuration, which will spawn more chains, Pinhead is capable of teleportation. This match is quite difficult to gauge the victor. The Dredge is a being of bad thoughts. It feeds on negativity. Pinhead causes pleasure, a good sensation, but he also causes pain, a bad sensation. So even though I believe Pinhead would have enough chains to hold the Dredge back, the negativity that Pinhead causes would only strengthen the Dredge. So eventually, the Dredge would come out victorious. The Dredge wins this fight. Who is more powerful, a psychopathic narcissistic knife thrower or a merry band of murderers who run really fast and stab up close and personal? It really comes down to fatigue and ammo, who will run out of knives, and who will run out of steam first. 4-on-1 doesn't seem quite fair, but I believe Trickster would win that fight. When Trickster lacerates someone enough times, he enters a state of intense focus, and ammo ends up not mattering. And also, he has insanely good accuracy from long distance, so if he saw 4 murderers from a distance, he would be able to enter his main event and kill them before they touch him. So in my opinion, the Trickster wins this fight. Huntress versus Deathslinger. Both long-distance killers. One has hatchets, the other is spear gun. Both are capable fighters, but I believe Huntress would win. She has taken out entire platoons by herself, and she has multiple hatchets and an axe for backup. Deathslinger has a spear gun with only 1 shot and a bayonet for backup. If Huntress was shot, she appears to look stronger than the Deathslinger, so he would probably not be able to pull her. And she would break free and hurl a hatchet through his skull, so in my opinion, the Huntress wins. Nurse and Freddy Krueger. This is a weird matchup at first, but both are teleporters and both are dead. Freddy the Dream Demon and the Ghostly Nurse. Freddy has sharp claws, dream snares, and fake pallets. The nurse has her bone saw and the ability to blink teleport across the map. But I believe Nurse would win. Freddy only has two things going for him, his claw glove and his dream snares, and even then, the nurse when she teleports has fatigue, so she wouldn't slow down that much. Freddy can only teleport to generators, meanwhile Nurse can teleport anywhere and everywhere. So Freddy would have to walk up to her if she was far away from gens, and Nurse could always teleport on top of Freddy and swipe at him. I doubt she would be able to kill him with one attack, but maybe she could. So in my opinion, the Nurse wins. Now on to the next fight, the Oni versus the Knight. Now you may not consider the Knight a ghost, but technically he uses his ghost-like companions in battle, so I think I'm going to say that the Knight is a spirit. The Knight is equipped with a massive greatsword and 3 guards. One is an assassin, so he is sneaky. Another is a jailer, so he is kind of pointless in this battle. And the last is the Carnifex, a brute. So he and the Knight are like tanks, while the other two can flank. Now to the Oni. Oni is equipped with a katana and a massive wooden plank. He's quite agile and strong. He can dash across the map in an instant and break pallets with ease. So when the fight takes place, who wins? I would wager the Oni would win. The Oni has killed hundreds of samurai who are skilled fighters, and it took an actual army to actually kill him. The Knight is big and has strength in numbers, but the Oni has the speed advantage, so I believe the Oni would be victorious in battle. This next fight has the twins versus the Skull Merchant. Let's start with the twins. The twins are normal people who are conjoined, but the entity has slightly changed Victor. Charlotte has a sickle and Victor has razor-sharp claws that dig their way into the victim's skin. Now let's talk about the Skull Merchant. The Skull Merchant has her arm blade and drones. Although not as big and strong as Charlotte, her drones allow her to track way more effectively than Victor. Now the verdict, I have a hard time gauging the winner between the two, but I think the fact the Skull Merchant only has one tool at her disposal when it comes to attacking someone makes her weaker than the twins in a battle. All the tracking in the world doesn't help you if the opposition can surround you and attack you in 2 different places at once. Not to mention the sheer speed of Victor, so in my mind, the twins win. The next fight features the Masters of Stealth, Michael Myers and the Ghostface. One, a sneaky man who crouches around and marks people and exposes them into a one-hit down with his Bowie knife. The other is equipped with a massive kitchen knife who has been stabbed, shot, set on fire, and exploded, but just won't die. The only sound his victims hear before they die is the sound of his muffled breathing through a tight latex mask. Now on to the verdict. I think due to the sheer resilience Michael Myers has, makes him the superior killer. He doesn't need to hide around corners to get his victims, and he's also quite a bit bigger than the Ghostface, so in my mind, I believe Michael Myers is the winner. Now to the next fight, Blight versus Artist. This matchup is an interesting match, but a lot of people who always say Blight is very powerful, and according to a lot of people, he has defeated anyone who has a blighted skin. Since the Blight cosmetics are made by the Blight when he injects killers with the serum he rushes with. So I had to find a killer who does not have a Blight skin yet. And the artist does not have a Blight skin, so I figured this is a fair fight. Let's start with Blight. Blight is equipped with a cane as his weapon of choice and moves at very high speeds under the effect of his Blight serum, although he does slow down when he has to re-inject himself. Now to the artist. The artist is equipped with her ink blade and can send ink crows to a maximum of 3, which will travel very fast in one direction and hinders the afflicted person until they are removed. And if not removed, will damage the afflicted. She does move slower when they are on cooldown. So as far as who will win this fight, I believe Artist will win since the crows hinder the person being swarmed. She has 3 chances to hit the Blight before needing to reload, causing him to move at a slower rate, making the fight easier for the Artist. Although the Blight may be able to dodge the crows, his cooldown would leave him as a sitting duck for the Artist's crows. So in my opinion, Artist wins. Wesker versus the Singularity. This fight will be interesting due to the little knowledge about the Singularity, but I think due to the high technology involved with this fight, these two opponents are the perfect match. The Singularity is equipped with what I will call a bud gun, basically infecting survivors with a goop that allows the Singularity to teleport to the survivors. But the bud gun can only shoot the environment, and it turns itself into a self-controlled drone that will fire on the target, and in turn infecting them. His drones are weak to EMP damage, rendering them useless. Wesker is equipped with a knife and a massive lunge that can pick up smaller targets and throw them far. Wesker is also equipped with rude one-liners, which are capable of making the opponent usually aggressive and frustrated, although this does not affect other killers. Wesker is quite technologically advanced and is not an opponent to take lightly. Now to the verdict. Due to Wesker's battle knowledge and his science skills, I believe Wesker would win the fight. When Singularity uses a drone, he has to temporarily disengage his servos to control the drone, therefore making him vulnerable to any attackers. And I feel Wesker would definitely take advantage of this, and using the Singularity's weakness of EMPs to Wesker's strength, I believe Wesker would win. I mean, all it would take is for the Singularity to do surveillance, looking for Wesker, and Wesker dashing at him at such a high speed, Wesker would be able to kill the Singularity, so Wesker wins. Now on to the final few fighters of round 1, Pig vs. Clown. Pig is equipped with an arm blade and reverse bear traps and can dash at you at very high speeds. She also can be very stealthy. Clown is equipped with his trusty finger-slicing knife. He's a bit of an alchemist and he has 2 types of potions. He has one that'll speed you up and the other slows you down while also confusing you. I think this one's pretty straightforward, but I believe Clown would win this fight. Although Pig can be stealthy and has traps, I believe Clown's toxic tonics will be enough to slow down the Pig. Slow her down enough and confuse her to the point Clown would destroy her. So Clown wins. Demogorgon and Nemesis. This may be the strongest fight of round 1. It's an alien organism versus a mutated zombie tyrant that's into tentacles. Now let's see what our fighters have to work with. Demogorgon is equipped with his razor-sharp claws, which he can shred with, and he also has interdimensional portals for cross-map killing. The Demogorgon is very resilient to basic weapons and only fears fire. I would imagine he would be immune to disease and plagues. Now on to the Nemesis. Nemesis is equipped with his tentacles, which are capable of damaging and infecting. He also has 2 zombies for tracking and chasing. Nemesis is very resilient, and he is able to be stunned and temporarily be put out of commission, but he can regenerate most of his body and becomes even stronger each time he comes back. Now to the verdict. I love the Demogorgon, but with these matchups, I have to be objective and put my favorites aside to be unbiased. So I believe that Nemesis would defeat the Demogorgon in battle. As I stated earlier, Demogorgon is resilient to basic weapons, but Nemesis is everything but basic. And I also mentioned earlier that the Nemesis also has a regenerative factor that makes him stronger and harder to kill. He was only defeated by a nuke. So with that, Nemesis wins this bout. Second to last opponents of round 1, Hag and Doctor. This one seems relatively simple, but when you think about it, it takes a little bit of understanding to understand the victor. Let's start off with the Hag. Hag is equipped with a gnarled branch arm and can also place phantasm traps around the map. Teleporting to the trigger traps, she is made of mud and wood, and possibly blood. I do not believe she has a heart or a brain anymore since she hunts on predatorial instinct. Now to the Doctor. Doctor is equipped with a spiky stick and electricity. He shocks his enemies with a spark of madness that drives everyone crazy. Now to who I believe would win this fight. I actually had to think about who would win in a fight. I originally thought Doctor would win due to his powers, but Hag has witchcraft, and she also lacks really a heart and a psyche. Also, she can teleport around the map and damage her enemy. So I believe Hag would win this fight. Now, the finale of round 1. Pyramid Head, the embodiment of grief and guilt itself, versus a chainsaw-wielding cannibal who has tantrums. Pyramid Head is equipped with a massive greatsword and can launch a trail of torment at anyone he is aiming at and damage them. He can also leave trails behind to torment people. He also wears a massive metal pyramid on his head. Now on to Leatherface. Leatherface has a hammer and a chainsaw. And that's it. Now to the verdict and the final fight of round 1. It should be pretty obvious that Pyramid Head would win this. Even if Bubba dodged the Trails of Torment, the hammer, which is a blunt weapon, would be useless on Pyramid Head due to the metal pyramid on his head. And the chainsaw could be blocked by the massive greatsword, dulling the chainsaw and causing it to overheat. So I believe Pyramid Head would win. And with that concludes round 1. We will be doing a round 2 very soon, so make sure to subscribe. And with that, I'm going to close out the video. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe, like, comment, and share. And if you have any opinions about the fights that you think I misgauged, please leave your thoughts and reasons down below in the comments. Well, thank you for watching, and I hope everybody has a good rest of their day. Thank you and goodbye.